while I was in the midst of sewing my images, my bobbin got all tangled up. And so I ended up having to cut this thread out of there, and I decided I didn't want it to go to waste. So because it had like the shape of the bobbin to it already, it reminded me of a nest, and I thought I'm going to incorporate this in some way in the journal because I love nests. I collect hummingbird nests. I have a couple that fell out of our trees at our house and in the winter. And so I just adore them. And I thought, well, I'm just going to turn this into a golden nest. And so I used some gel medium and glued it together. I did here go in on this page because it's an inkjet print. And I used some fluid matte medium just to seal the words underneath so that they wouldn't smear too much, and it also worked as a glue. And so that's what I'm doing here. Put a lot of the loose threads down, glued them all down, and then I took the circle part, the nest shape, and I glued that down with the fluid matte medium as well. And now I'm just trying to make it keep the shape that I want, and I used a little mini palette knife there to kind of stick that bottom part of the nest in and then allow some of it to be sticking up and kind of, flowing out. And so that's what I'm doing here, and just kind of smoothing everything down and gluing it into place. I'm really happy with how, this could have went in the trash, and it ended up turning into one of my favorite entries in this journal. And next I'm going to go in here with some pen, and I scribbled underneath all around. Once the glue was dry, I scribbled and kind of created like the background of the nest, added kind of a little bit of depth to it and contrast. And then I was trying to put in some scraps of book, and it just wasn't working. And then I decided to go to my found words that I have in this dish. And I intentionally look for books at Goodwill or library sales or estate sales or whatever that have a positive and uplifting tone to them, so that when I'm looking for words that I want to use in my journaling, I can find something that says what I'm feeling or thinking, or what I'm hoping of feeling or thinking by creating the entry. And so this one is, I found the word love, and I thought that was really sweet to have in the center of the nest, and just reminding us to love ourselves, well, and of God's love of us, and to love others. And the words feeling beautifully human seemed really perfect just for whatever I was feeling that day. And so I think the top says a little story, and then, it says a little story in the top left, love in the center, and then how to feeling beautifully human. So basically, how to love and live feeling beautifully human is how this all came together. I didn't set out for that, and that's the serendipity of it all and the fun of the creative process. And if you're creating with your heart and mind set on Jesus, these types of little messages and moments are going to come up, and it's just so soul nourishing for me. I absolutely love it. And these are scraps. This is scrap thread on a scrap piece of paper with cut up words, and it ends up being just this beautiful entry in the book here, and you'll see as we go along. So here I'm using this glitter glue, and it's a good strength glue that dries pretty quickly, and I just stuck that in there with that. It was quick and easy, super fine tip to get in that small area and just stick that word love down, versus the glue stick. I wanted a little bit more of a strong hold for that. And so now I'm using a piece of scrapbook paper that I thought was really beautiful, and I wanted to journal on it in white, and I couldn't get my white pen to work, so I ended up switching to a gold pen, and I did a bunch of journaling on that, and I'll read you that in a second. But then now I'm on the back side of that journal page. Well, I'm showing you here everything I've done. And so there's the journaling with the gold pen, and it's just so beautiful because you don't quite see it unless you hold it the right way. And I like journaling that way when I use my gel pens or the white pens. It's just almost a subtle secret, so to speak. I kept the flap on the other side, and now I'm deciding what I want to put there to kind of finish off that part of the page. And I start with that butterfly sticker, and then I have this quote here: "We are not responsible for all that befalls us, only how we receive it and for how we hold each other up along the way." And that kind of goes with that original message. That I had no idea when I started this journal that I would be putting that in here. And it just really came together in such a sweet way. And now I'm trying to figure out how I want to add some finishing touches to this page. And I have these cute little picture frame die cutouts that I think I got at Joann or something in their little bins. And so I was thinking about putting that on and changing out the butterfly. And here you're just going to see me try and think through how I want to handle this flap and this part of the page so that it's, I don't know, looks how I want it to look. But I don't know that yet until I get there. Isn't that the fun of creativity? So I'm trying to peel off the butterfly that I put on, and I succeed for the most part. I kind of tear through the paper a little bit, but it's okay. And now I'm just trying different butterfly stickers or cutouts to see which ones are going to fit. And there's the one, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And so I eventually give up on putting that picture frame on to kind of finish it all off. And I glue the butterfly down. I put some gold paint on the edges where it's torn there to just give it a nice finished look. And I let that dry and I stick that down, and then I also do the gold along the pages there. I wipe my fingers off. Here's a look at the final entry, and it ends up being what, a 1, 2, 3 page spread. I also incorporated the butterflies into the next section of the journal as well for a little bit. I just was having fun with them, and you'll see more of that in the final flip through. But my journal entry reads, I took just the prompts from the found words and turned it into an entry, and this is what I wrote on the blue paper with the gold ink. It says, "How to feel beautifully human." It's a little story, really. Love the fragments, love into the fragments of the broken pieces of who you are. It all has purpose and meaning into what is beautiful and purposeful within yourself. Love others in the same way. And it was just such a sweet little entry. I keep saying that, but really it touched my heart and my soul, just finding these little words and creating something so personal and insightful.